suggested some sort of a brand extension.
Ruthless aggression. Allow me to introduce you to the new general manager of Raw, Eric Bischoff.
Who in the green hell are you?
I lie, I cheat, I steal. And at WrestleMania,
I just hear myself say 3 minutes.
well, let me tell you something, brother.
Whoa. Welcome everybody to some Dits versus Josh. I'm the winner yet again because I'm the best.
Yeah, I don't like
That's
that.
the end of the episode. See ya. I'm so happy that
Yeah,
I won again.
I'm not a fan of this Josh Robinson victory streak malarkey. It can fuck off.
I'm big fan of it, like a huge fan, big
Oh,
proponent.
no,
of me
I
winning.
figured you would be. I figured you would
I
be a
love
big
winning.
fan of this.
I'm terrible at losing. I don't lose. I just the other person always seems to forfeit or something like that. I don't know. They always seem to quit out. Definitely not forced to. I've never lost at Mario Kart before. I've had races that have an end because it's been turned off, but I've never lost.
Interesting.
Always win. Constantly a winner. I don't know what it's like to lose.
Apart from the 7 times you've lost on here.
I mean, we're not counting that. I go from the future. I'm a very different person than 7 years ago or whatever it was. What 7 years? 7 times? Whatever.
Starting from now.
I'm a winner only. How is it being a loser?
It's not great. I'm not going to lie. It's not great. But I still have a 2-win cushion. And I have time to reflect as well because we're not voting this week. So,
No, we vote
yes, we
this
are.
week.
Yes, we are.
Vote next week. King of the Ring's next
That's
week,
fair.
everyone.
Yes,
So we're
that's
on the
it.
Go Home shows. Go Home to King of the Ring. There's some major King of the Ring implications.
And I'm going to sell the shit out of my show right now and say it was fucking awful. Didn't enjoy it. Wanted it to end 15 minutes in. Terrible.
Can't relate. I have a live atmosphere.
You had one of my guys. You keep stealing my fucking guys. You stole my fucking co-owner. You stole Benoit, which actually you're more than welcome to him. And
Yeah.
more importantly, you stole the fucking Rock.
If you smell what the Rock is called. Wow, spoilers, by the way, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm living my dreams.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
Let's get started.
Josh living his dreams is not good for anybody else.
Oh, it's great for me though, so that's all that
No.
matters.
No.
Let's get started because I want to talk about Raw because there's a lot to break down. June 17th, 2002 in Oakland, California. All right.
Oh, nice.
Bay Area of California. You know, where we love California. Apparently, I don't know. Is that a thing? I like LA. I've never been there, but sure would like to, experience that one day when there isn't COVID.
Ideally.
That was a really long-winded say, but I wanted to go to LA. Raw starts off with a match this week.
Nice.
King of the Ring quarterfinal, of course. Rob Van Dam versus X-Pac of the NWO, of course. There's not really much that happens in this match because there's a lot of botching. Like a lot on both men's part.
I was going to say, whose fault is that? But both, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, both. But, I mean, crowd were into it. The finish is all I really want to break down here is that Booker T comes out while the referee's checking on RVD and he hits X-Pac with a bookend, which allows RVD to hit the 5-star Rug Splash. So RVD's going to King of the Ring.
Nice.
But yeah, lot of botches. It is what it is. I still like RVD. I've never loved X-Pac, to be completely fair. I don't know how you feel about X-Pac, but
he could never have been a thing, and I wouldn't have missed him. So,
yeah, I don't really care. But RVD won, so RVD's going to King of the Ring this week, which is good. I like RVD. I've always loved RVD. Not so much now, but Back then I did. The kind of catalyst of this show is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the kind of recurring thing. Do you remember WWE Confidential?
Yes.
So they hyped up this confidential thing that happened on the weekend about the real story of why Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out. And they keep having like little segments in between everything about this confidential thing. So they show the first one here, and it basically has Jim Ross talking about how he's friends with Stone Cold and he can't believe that he walked out on the company and all that jazz. So they're really hitting it hard that Stone Cold walked out.
Bitter.
I don't know. Yeah, bitter. Bitter would be the word.
Rightfully so, I would say.
I mean,
but...
yeah, I mean, if I was Austin, I know that I would, it's weird. I always find that situation so weird because I understand he was frustrated, but like, you don't really just walk out on your job. You know what I mean? Like, even no matter how frustrated you are, you don't just be like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going home. Like that just, yeah. But they keep hyping that up, so. Backstage. Guess who we're backstage with? Can you guess?
Rick.
Oh, close. Who's the next?
NWO.
Close? Yeah, there you go. You got it on the first try. Good work.
One or the other.
Basically, X-Pac is backstage complaining about Booker T. It's like, bleh, bleh. And Nash just says, "Calm the fuck down. I have a plan."
Actual quote.
Yeah, sure. In the ring, though, out comes the now full owner of WWE, one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yes.
And he's talking about Austin. It's that famous promo that he cut. Do you remember? Everyone, I think, knows this promo, the shoot-ish promo that Vince cuts about Steve Austin walking out.
He is.
Basically, he said that he's tried to contact Austin, and Austin won't take their calls. The only call he took was one from Jim Ross, and Jim Ross unfortunately couldn't get Austin to agree to come back. Vince says that Austin will never be forgot, and that he doesn't know whether he'll ever appear in a WWE ring again, but he always knows what he did for the company. He ends up taking a beer, having a drink of a beer, to a mixed reaction from the crowd. It was mixed. And Vince kind of leaves that beer in the middle of the ring and walks out. It's the end of Austin, I guess. Or seemingly. We get this match: Jeff Hardy versus Raven.
Just because.
Jeff Hardy's been in a little program with The Undertaker, I guess. Undertaker comes out in this match and he stands on the top of the apron, kind of just like stands there and watches. Jeff wins, of course, in a weirdly like lengthy match. It was weird. It wasn't anything of like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just kind of like weird. Raven has really cool theme music, and I didn't remember it.
Is it the...
Yeah, and it's got like singing and shit in it. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't remember this. But Jeff ends up winning with a Swanton Bomb. And then basically Hardy and Taker just kind of stare down each other, and they're like, get back away from me. Stuff like that. They're building something here. I wonder what it could be. Backstage. Guess who's backstage?
Ric Flair.
No, you're so wrong. It's Booker T and Goldust.
See, I can live with that.
Yeah, well, me too. I could talk about this segment over and over again. Because Goldust is dressed like the Duke of Gold. As in royal, I guess would be the way to put this. He asked Booker T, and this is a direct quote, if he would like to serve in his royal court. Booker's happy though. He's happy to see Goldust. So it's starting to happen. The relationship is starting to form. Booker T has a King of the Ring qualifying or quarterfinal match tonight against Brock Lesnar.
Ooh, that's gonna go down very well.
But Goldust says he can see it now. He can see King Booker written in the stars.
Oh,
I mean, to be fair,
he's not wrong.
we're not going to spoil anything that happens, but he ain't wrong. He's really not wrong. Maybe he's a psychic or a psycho. Psycho would be the one. But Booker says that no matter what, he's going to upstage the NWO, he's going to upstage Brock Lesnar, and he's going to become King Booker.
Booker.
All right, so we go to an interview. The coach is running around backstage, and he knocks on a door. And he says, I need to get an interview with Molly Holly.
Mm.
Molly Holly's using the Thigh Master. I mean, Molly, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler on commentary in this segment, obviously backstage, and Jerry Lawler just says, wow, she's thick. And then Jim Ross says, yeah, she has a big caboose. This feud is about her having a fat ass. But anyway, coach is talking about her. Talking to her, not about her. And he says, what do you think about the comments that Trish made saying you have a, quote, big butt? And Molly said that she was offended by that comment, but Trish should be more offended because this Sunday she's going to take away her women's championship. Boom. Burn. And Coach suggests that maybe Molly wouldn't be the butt of the jokes, but here we are. And then Molly slaps Coach right in the mouth.
Oh.
What a woman.
I'll tell.
Just great job.
Thick.
We go backstage again. Who are we with?
Ric Flair.
You're wrong again. It's the NWO.
Oh, for God's sake. I'll get it right one day.
X-Pac complains about RVD some more because he's a sook. But in comes Paul Heyman. All he asks, Paul Heyman just says to the entire NWO, stay out of the match tonight. Brock's got this. Just stay out. X-Pac asks Brock if that's a threat. Asks Paul if that's a threat. And Paul says, looks him right in the eye and says, I'm telling you to stay away. Shawn Michaels gets in Brock Lesnar's face. Brock Lesnar kind of, does the tall man thing and stands over the top of him. But then Kevin Nash gets in Brock Lesnar's face and they have a bit of a stare down. So, don't know what's going to happen there. But we got a debut coming up next in this match because Spike Dudley is taking on the only Harvard graduate in WWE history, Chris Nowinski, with the European champion William Regal. For some reason, Chris Nowinski comes out in a full suit, and then middle of the match, he takes off his suit to have wrestling gear on. I don't know why. But Nowinski ends up winning. His move was a full Nelson slam. No thanks. Boring. I don't remember anything about Chris Nowinski other than Harvard and his song. Do you remember his song?
I do remember his song.
It's like, I can't even, oh no, I'm not going to try and do it because I'll just botch it, like, butcher it like real bad. But it's like real fun. It's like, yes, Chris Nowinski. I used to always use it in like Raw, the Raw on the Xbox game. Oh my God, I used to give everyone that theme song because it's just so ridiculous. But Nowinski and Regal beat up Spike after the match, and guess who comes out to help him?
Bubba?
Bradshaw.
Oh.
Because why the fuck wouldn't he? Fuck off, Bradshaw. And also, he's the hardcore champion still, and I forgot.
Yeah, I thought Bubba was the hardcore champion for some reason.
Bradshaw.
Or Stevie Richards.
I haven't even seen
Stevie. Or anybody. Who fucking knows?
Honestly, I don't have any clue what's going on. So, we got a really, really, really good in-ring segment here. Flair's here. Now, if you remember, Flair lost to Vince last week.
Yes.
Lost ownership. But he did sign another contract today. He said that he has one more run left in him as a wrestler. So that's what he's going to do. He talks about Steve Austin a bit, as everybody kind of does this week. Just basically goes on about how he wouldn't walk out on a company. Everyone's just taking shots at Steve. is what it is. And then Steve Austin's music hits. Place goes fucking bananas too. And then it gets into it a bit, and then it just goes Latino heat, and out comes Eddie, and he's got he got a monster boo. Like, holy shit, this dude got a lot of heat for that. Eddie was talking about how, like, he was meant to, scheduled to fight Austin at the King of the Ring, but he wants to fight. And basically says that Flair's useless. Said you lost to Vince McMahon last week, and you call yourself the best ever. He, in his words, calls Flair a worthless piece of crap.
Nice.
And then some other guy comes out, some SmackDown guy. His name's like Chris Benoit or something. He comes out. I mean, it's never a good thing when Chris Benoit has a microphone, because he's never been a good talker, ever. Like, name one good, even after everything, name one good Chris Benoit promo, because I cannot.
No.
It's never his strong suit. Amazing in-ring technician, but not a good talker. Ugh. But Eddie and Rick carried this kind of segment. We basically get to, like, Guerrero and Benoit getting into it, because Benoit's like, you should not be disrespecting Ric Flair like this. He's one of the greats, but it's all a sham because Benoit ends up hitting Rick. They both beat up Eddie, and Eddie then says this Sunday, I'm going to fight Ric Flair at King of the Ring.
Oh.
He locks the figure
Never
four
knew
on
that was a
Flair,
thing.
and Guerrero and Benoit stand tall. It was a good segment,
Nice.
though. I really liked it. We go backstage, and it's Vince McMahon.
With a lady?
Vince is on the phone, and then in comes Chris Nowinski. He introduces himself to Mr. McMahon, talks about how he's from...
Creepy Vince.
He's talking about how he's a graduate of Harvard and blah, 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 blah. And then Vince says he's got a call coming, so Chris, you need to fuck off. He gets on the phone, and all it says is that it's someone that says that the man is on his way. Chris is still there, by the way. He asks, who's on his way? And Vince says, I can only assume that means Steve Austin. So he gathers some security and says, you need to wait for Austin at the thing to get him to come into the arena. We got a mixed tag match up next. Trish Stratus, the women's champion, and D'Lo Brown taking on Molly Holly and Crash Holly. A little reunion. Cousins, aren't they? Molly and Crash are cousins, right?
Yeah, but why the fuck is D'Lo Brown in this?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Last night on Heat, MTV's Heat,
Oh, Heat.
D'Lo challenged Crash to a match, and they said find a partner, and Crash found Molly, so D'Lo found Trish.
Oh.
So we got the cousins taking on Trish and D'Lo.
Also
It was
cousins.
a quick match. Quick match. D'Lo pins Crash. And the whole time, Jerry Lawler tried to start a chant that says, she's a fat ass.
Oh dear.
And Jim Ross, Molly went for the Molly go round, and Jim Ross called it. She ends up missing, but he called it the flying caboose. So terrible.
That's so bad.
It's terrible. After the match, though, Molly gets one up on Trish. Dits has lost it. Molly gets one up on Trish, though, because I'm like, this be fucking real Trish. So Trish is standing on the apron, and Molly grabs her by her legs and throws her into the announce table from the apron. I'm like, fuck. Trish is like dead on the floor. She's like, ah, and Molly's just like, get fucked. It was pretty lit.
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off if my finishing move got changed to the flying caboose.
Flying caboose.
The flying caboose.
And Jim Ross says it so casually. I fucking hate it. But we go to WWE The World. We're at WWE The World with a broken-necked Lita And JR says that, Lita, I have some bad news. Tonight, Matt Hardy's going one-on-one with The Undertaker. And Lita says that she trusts Matt and she believes in him. And she does state that sometimes it's not worth the risk. True. Very much true. We go backstage, and guess who's there?
NWO.
Vince McMahon. He's talking about Austin to a camera crew who he's got ready to document Austin coming back into the WWE. But in comes the winner of Tough Enough, Jackie. And for the first time in Raw history, I get creepy Vince.
Yes!
It's happening. It's happening. It's like that gif of The Office. Oh my God, it's happening. That was me. I was like, holy fuck, it's happening. I don't know what to do with I was like, this is what, okay, so, Vince is like, Jackie, I'm glad that you're here, but aren't you a SmackDown girl? And she says, well, Vince, I think it's time I get a little Raw. Vince goes, he just starts heavily breathing. You would know exactly what he's doing.
I know
his
that
eyes
sound.
And like he's like almost touching his body. It's fucking weird. And he said, well, if you want to be Raw, then next week there's gonna be a little Divas Undressed competition. And if you can show up to Raw next week in some lingerie, then I'll give you an opportunity to see how Raw we can go. And then Jackie says, Vince, as she's stroking his arm, she said, I love it, Raw. And Vince goes, ugh. The segment ends. But Vince is just like making those noises throughout the whole time. He's just, ugh.
His like body's always like,
yeah. Yeah, and he's like almost like touching his nipples and shit. I'm like, this is gross. I'm like, I'm not feeling this, dude. Yeah, but I got
glad you got
creepy
to
Vince.
experience that.
I might get to experience it well, next week. I don't know if Vince is going to host this Divas Undressed competition, but I can only assume that he would.
It's natural, isn't it? It's either him or King.
Oh, I'd rather it be Vince than King. Well, would I? Jesus. Imagine both of them in a room with fucking women. Oh, no thanks. Alright. We get a match, and it's Undertaker and Matt Hardy. Yikes. How do I put this lightly? Taker destroys Matt Hardy. Pretty much. But
Gosh.
Jeff Hardy comes out at some point in the match, and they're all brawl. They're just all brawling. Taker, I believe the match was thrown out. I can't even remember. I didn't write it down. But yeah, Taker destroys Matt. Jeff comes out. They all brawl. Raven comes out, and takes out Jeff. Oh no! I did write who won. So that match didn't get thrown out because of that for some reason, which I don't understand why. But Taker hits Matt with the superest of last rides that I've ever seen, and I thought Matt passed. I was like, holy shit. And he pins him. Raven ends up beating up Jeff some more and handcuffs him to the top rope. And Taker beats up Matt while Jeff watches and cries.
Oh. Oh.
And immediately we go to an interview with, like, after the break, I guess, and it's Taker and Terry. And he said, I'm going to make this short and sweet. And he points at Terry and says, you've got the short part taken care of? I was like, okay.
What
he says,
line?
I know. I was like, that's a weird line. That's a weird thing for him to say. So he said, I hope that Triple H was watching what I just did to Matt Hardy, because I'm going to do it to him at the King of the Ring. We go backstage, and guess who's there?
NWO.
It's Vince.
Oh, come on.
Vince is all over this show because he's on the phone again, and he said he got a message from someone that just said he is almost at the arena. Vince is like, basically Vince is touching himself at this point. He's like, fuck yeah. We go backstage, and guess who it is?
NWO.
It's El Hebner.
Oh, God damn it!
Al Hebner is just standing there when Paul Heyman comes in and says, "Do not allow any interference in the Booker and Brock match." And Hebner gets up in Heyman's face and says, "I don't tell you how to do your job. Don't tell me how to do mine."
Oh, fucking badass Ebner.
So we go to the ring, and it's a King of the Ring quarterfinal match. Brock Lesnar taking on Booker T. The NWO come out at some point because Nash and Michaels are on the announce team for this match, and they are fucking obnoxious. Especially Sean. Holy shit. He's so obnoxious. Goldust ends up coming into at some point. This match is a freaking train wreck. It's such a mess. There's so much happening, and I was so distracted by Michaels on commentary that I just couldn't deal because he was just yelling the entire time. But obviously, Lesnar wins. Couldn't tell you how because I was just so lost. So, the NWO beat up Booker T after the match too.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're in a feud with Booker T. We go backstage. Guess who it is?
Vince.
It is, with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yes. Oh.
Because he comes in and says, he's arrived. And he says,
Ooh.
"Tell Steve to meet me in the ring." So Vince comes out. We got the main event segment. Vince comes out and he calls out Steve Austin. He says that, "Stone Cold, I'm glad you're doing the right thing," and hit his music. And he points, and then it goes, "If you smell what the Rock is cooking," and the place goes fucking crazy, like nuts. And Rock comes out, cuts his usual Rock stuff, tells Vince to hit the bricks, cuts a Rock promo and says that this Sunday he's going to be at King of the Ring. That's it. Raw goes off the air. Rocky's back.
I saw that segment.
Yeah, Rocky's back. He did say something about Steve Austin in there. He said, "Stone Cold might want to walk, but this will always be home." Standard Rock.
Have to get the dig in there, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Forced or not.
Yeah, he's got to get it in there. Get it in there, mate. It's fine. But yeah, good Raw. I enjoyed that Raw because I got creepy fears. I've never had that before. It was pretty intense.
It's good though.
Good Raw though. I enjoyed.
That sounds a lot better than the dumpster fire that is SmackDown.
Fantastic. Let's get into it.
Oh, Chris Van Vliet just followed me. That's weird.
That's nice.
So random. I don't follow him. No, I do. Because I'm nice like that. I'll follow back.
Bless.
Sorry, that was just really random. It just popped up on my phone whilst I was getting my notes open. So there you go.
Nice.
I share because I care. Okay, so speaking of The Rock, we are in Sacramento, California, and we know
they beat the Kings in May. That's all. What a segment.
Yes, I could talk about a Rock concert all day long, but we do not have all day.
We do not.
I need to tell you about the shit show of SmackDown. Kurt Angle kicks off the show this week, and he's got his wig back on again. Of course, it was torn off his head last week, but he's got it back on again. And he's like, "Oh, I know everyone's been laughing at me, but it's not a laughing matter. It's serious." He's like, "What I'm about to say is extremely difficult. I'm bald. Bald.
Oh my God.
He's like, "Guys, I've been wearing a wig." And he's like, "Look, I've tried tonics. I've even tried fertilizer to make it grow back. Nothing's working."
Fertilizer.
And he talks about how he hates that Hogan's made him a joke. But he said, "But look," he goes, "I'm an Olympic champion. I'm a gold medalist. Whereas Hogan's the real joke because he looks 100, can't wrestle, and he can barely move." And I popped for that a little bit because it's Hogan hate, and we like Hogan hate on Dits versus Josh.
We do.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'll show that he's a joke by making him tap at King of the Ring, and I'm going to break his ankle."
I hope so.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. And sadly, here comes Hogan. And comes down, does his usual shtick. Which we also don't like on Dits versus Josh, and says the biggest joke will be at King of the Ring when this 100-year-old man punts you out and beats you. He said he's going to get the last laugh by pulling his ugly wig off his ugly ass head, and he's going to do it again tonight. And Angle's like, I'd like to see you try, and then starts attacking Hogan. And then Hogan floors him, goes to grab the wig, but gets hit in the old 100-year-old testicles, and Angle hits the bricks. That is the opening segment to SmackDown. Wonderful stuff. Then we go backstage with Stacy Keibler, and I'm glad that you've kind of made sense of what the hell was going on here, because I had no idea. She's looking over like some material for some lingerie. But it turns out there's an undress thing next week, so that now makes sense. Dawn rocks up and says, "Look, Vince has put her in the Divas undress match on Monday, or match, whatever the fuck that thing is." And says, "Oh well, I guess he wants to see me in my bra and underwear after all." Yes, he does. He likes to see all women in their bra and underwear. Stacey's like, shut up. And then Tori rocks up in the
10
background.
out of 10 for that Stacy Keibler. But I mean, it's like I'm sitting here with Stacy right now.
Oh, there you go. I've got the legs for it. Tori's there in the background, and then she's thanking whoever makes the gear, saying, "Oh, it looks great," and then kind of turns to Stacy and Dawn and like reveals this fucking lingerie that she's wearing. And then Stacy and Dawn just look at each other and just like, "You fucking kidding me?" And then that's it. And then, but Michael Cole describes Tuesday's bra. I say Tuesdays. Why have I put Tuesdays?
No, it's
Is it on a Tuesday?
no. So no. Hold the phone. So there's going to be a Divas lingerie contest on Raw, and then on Tuesday at the World, there's a Divas undressed contest.
Okay. So Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is where Dawn Marie's in it. But Michael Cole describes that whole thing as a thongathon. Huh.
Oh, God.
That's a thing. Then we get our first match of the evening. It is Rikishi versus Christian. It's a very short match. And the only purpose that it serves is to lead to a ref fuck up. So 2 weeks in a row this has happened. Rikishi hits a pop-up like cutter kind of thing, and pins Christian, but Christian gets the most blatant foot on a rope I have ever seen. Like how the referee did not see this, I will never know, but it happened. Rikishi still gets the free count, and everyone's favorite Canadian, Lance Storm, comes out. Of course, he was wronged last week by a referee, so he's coming out to stick up for Christian. But like Rikishi's dancing in the ring, he's got his hat on, he's popping. Pyro, lights, the whole fucking caboose. And then just off camera, the ref's in the ring at the time, and you just see the ref go, boom, like Lance Storm grabs his feet and just fucking hoiks him, pulls him out the ring. I was like, oh, I had to rewind it. I was like, that's quite funny. But Storm and Christian are fucking going at the ref, saying like, fucking hell, my foot was on the rope, blah, blah, blah. Oh, excuse me. And then after the break, we go to a promo with Lance Storm, which everyone always looks forward to. And Christian is also there. He doesn't say anything. And he says...
That's Christian's career. Christian is also there. Much love to Christian. It's just like,
I love Christian. And Storm saying, look, a pattern is starting to develop now with prejudice against Canadian athletes. And he calls out all the American wrestlers and the company itself, saying they've been held back for years. And then bangs on about how Americans look down on them and all countries throughout the world. And then he says, I think I speak for everybody when I say America sucks. End of promo.
Yeah. We aren't American.
The un-Americans, I mean, I said that they were starting to plant the seeds last week, but it's on its way. Christian has now been added to that, and I'm sure Test will follow shortly. Then we go an interview with Triple H, and I forget who I want to say Kevin Kelly, but I don't think it is Kevin Kelly. It's not Kevin Kelly. It's some young dude, but who I know. I know his name, but I don't know his name. Anyway, he's interviewing Triple H, but he's like really nervous around Triple H, and he's stuttering his questions, can't quite get it out. So Triple H is going, look, I can see that you're struggling, so I'm gonna ask whatever question I assume you were going to ask, and he's just like, how are you going to beat Taker? And what are you going to do? And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to beat Taker, take back the undisputed title, have my redemption. And then he starts talking about his match with Billie tonight. So we have Billie versus Triple H, and his history with DX and how he was known as Badass Billy Gunn and Mr. Ass. and says, well, given his current partnership with Chuck, maybe he's still called Mr. Ass. Says he warned Billie last week and he'll warn him again this week. Come to the ring for the match and I'll kick your ass. And then he's like, I'm ready for your partner, air quotes, and your cabana boy Rico, should they get involved.
Wow.
Classic Triple H.
Triple H
and
and his big nose.
I sympathize with him because I've got a big schnoz, but it's nothing quite.
It's
not on the realms of
like,
Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H is like Pinocchio at this stage. Like, it's like, fucking Jesus.
So your favorite people are here. Backstage with Nydia.
Yes! Woo!
It's not as amazing as it was last week when she randomly licked Hurricane, but there you go. Well, in fact, I say it's not as good when she licked Hurricane, but I'm going to start with this sentence. She smells him and says, I love the scent of a man going to battle. I love that you're going to go out and fight it out tonight and see who faces the Hurricane and the King of the Ring for the Cruiserweight title.
Oh, God,
and then she's like,
nice.
Yeah. And he turns around and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to win tonight and the King of the Ring. Yeah, I'm going to be the new Cruiserweight champion. She goes, that makes me happy. And if I'm happy, that means you're going to be happy. And Noble starts talking about becoming champion again. And then Nydia's acting like she's got a vibrating egg inside her. It's all fucking weird. And then Noble says, oh, well, maybe Hurricane won't show up because he doesn't have his mask, doesn't have his powers. And then Nydia reveals that she's been keeping it in a nice warm place and pulls up her short skirt and she's wearing Hurricane's mask as underwear.
I mean, Jesus. I know what... Listen, I know what I come out and said the other day, but even if I wasn't, I wouldn't want to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
Like... Imagine that. Imagine like getting all frisky with someone and then you take off their clothes and they're wearing Hurricane's mask down there. No matter what's
like
hiding.
wrestling.
I mean, I'd be like, whoa, stand back.
Aha. We go to Jamie Noble versus Billie Kidman, #1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. And it is confirmed Kidman does not have his fucking decent theme. It is generic shit. And it will continue to be, it seems. And this match, like the match is happening, but Taz and Cole just keep blabbering on about how Nydia gets turned on and excited by aggression and viciousness, and she's all at ringside, fucking touching herself up to everything that's going on. It leads to a point where Kidman hits a drop kick counter to a top rope crossbody from Noble, and starts pulling Noble towards the corner for a shooting star press, and the referee is checking on Noble, and I don't know why. I mean, I do know why because it serves the finish, but why would he? It's a fucking wrestling match. He's down. He's about to take a finish. Like, why would the ref come over? But the ref's over anyway, which allows Nydia to pull Kidman's feet from under him. So Kidman lands on the top rope, all nut first. And then Noble hits like a brutal-looking draping DDT from the top rope, and then picks up the win.
Damn.
So he is going to King of the Ring to face Hurricane. So the Nydia Jamie Noble train will continue.
And then I'm driving that thing.
Nydia then pulls off her mask underwear as if they are knickers. Exactly, not just like an unbuckle the thing, like she pulls them down like they are knickers, and puts it on Noble, and then snogs him.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, but the lights go out, and it's the Undertaker. No, it's not. It's the Hurricane.
Oh. What's he doing with the lights? How he's driving a bike around at the moment?
Gong.
Dong.
The Hurricane's music plays. Noble gets chokeslammed. Hurricane gets his mask back, and he fucking scuttles up the ramp.
Nice.
But I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna wash it. Who knows? Then we go to Billie versus Triple H, and with it, I mean, I don't really remember much of the match, but within a minute. The numbers advantage kicking in. You got Rico and Chuck fucking all over Triple H every time the ref's distracted, and then from there it's just fucking standard stuff. And Chuck, we get a famous Rico spinning heel kick. Chuck's distracting the ref, so Rico comes fucking bounding in, hits the spinning heel kick, which he always seems to do, and then Chuck then comes in with Billie comes in, with the tag title belt. because now Rico's distracting the referee. The fucking referees are really easily distracted. But Triple H dodges it and then uses the belt himself on Billie. But then Billie attacks after that, goes for a Faymaster. Triple H counters, pedigree, win.
Awesome.
Exciting stuff.
Can you hear
Amazing.
the thunder? Is that coming through on my microphone?
No.
There is a fucking shitstorm going on outside. It's like, brrr. I'm like, holy fuck. It's not coming through on the microphone, so it's fine. It's
I'll
kind of
turn my
stopped.
volume up.
It's kind of stopped now anyway, that we talk about it, of course.
Speaking of thunder, WCW, no. Rico tries to attack.
WCW. I love it.
Rico tries to attack, but Triple H then goes for a pedigree on him. But then Angle comes from behind and takes out Triple H. But then Triple H gets the upper hand again, throws him out the ring, and then that allows Taker to come down to the ring and then attacks Triple H from behind. And then Triple H gets the upper hand again and then goes for the pedigree. And this is fucking awful. Angle comes in with a chair with all intents and purposes of hitting Triple H. So Triple H has got the Undertaker in a pedigree position. So you'd imagine if he's going to hit Triple H, it's going to be either like upper body or head. He clocks the Undertaker mid-back. How he even misses that, I will never know. So here's Taker. Triple H darts. Yeah, it's the worst miss imaginable, and Triple H has fucked off, and then Angle's like all scared because he's hit Taker, so then he does one. And then the replays make it even look worse than it was. Because I thought, oh, maybe he's just missed and clocked him in the back of the head. No, like it was mid-back. It was really, really badly executed. But there you go. Backstage with Vince and Stacey. No creepy Vince.
Oh,
no creepy Vince. He is looking her up and down and holding her hands and stuff. But that's very tame for the Vince we've had recently. And she says she's really excited that The Rock's going to King of the Ring, but Vince brushes it all off. Instead, he's like bigging up Taker and Triple H. And then Taker barges in and he said, look, I want Angle in a match tonight. Vince is like, no, you've got your match against Triple H, King of the Ring. It's not happening. Then fucking Taker just keeps going, no, I'm not asking, I'm telling. So Vince reluctantly accepts. And then we go to the ring for Jericho versus the Big Valboski. King of the Ring first round match. It's actually quite a competitive match, shockingly. Don't really remember much of it, but it was competitive. The ref is knocked down towards the end of the match when Jericho misses a flying clothesline. So Val hits a fisherman's suplex, but the ref is out, so the free count is made by the crowd, not the referee, so it doesn't count.
Classic wrestling.
So Val goes over the ref, tries to fucking wake him up, say, come on, he only just brushed you, get the fuck up. Jericho goes out for a chair. But then Val counters into a spin-out powerbomb. The ref recovers miraculously for a 2 count. And then the ref is continuing to try and blow away the birds that are flying around his head. And Jericho hits a low blow on Val, gets the walls of Jericho locked in, and Val taps out. It is RVD versus Chris Jericho at King of the Ring.
Chef's
And
kiss.
I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah.
The absolutely fucking pointless segment. There's backstage with Test and Hardcore Holly. Holly's just like, look, there's a WWE title match up for grabs at SummerSlam by winning King of the Ring, and I don't think you're taking this seriously. And Test said, I'll show you how serious I am when I kick your teeth down your throat in our match tonight. Pointless. The fuck was the point in that? Kurt is in Vince's office now. He's pissed off that Vince has put him in a match with Taker, as you would. Vince says he didn't have a choice, but the competition might be a good thing for them. Good little warm-up. Stacey asks Angle if he's scared of Taker, and he's like, nah, absolutely not. He says, all I'll see when I look across the ring at Taker is red and yellow, and I'm going to do to Taker what I'm going to do to Hogan. I'm going to break his ankle tonight. And Vince is like, no, you're not. But Kurt Angle's fucked off at this point. He's like, you get back here, son of a bitch. But yeah, he does. Then we go to Hardcore Holly versus Test. King of the Ring first round match.
I'm so excited.
I have 4 lines here. As you can imagine, it's a hard-hitting match. Pretty short and ends with a big boot. Test versus Brock at King of the Ring. That's it. Amazing stuff. And I
Sounds
know
good.
though that Test hits a beautiful big boot on Brock Lesnar at King of the Ring. Just if you look, you'll look out for that now. It's brutal. It was great. Backstage with Vince and Stacey again, and in come two agents,
Oh, this is something else
Finley
then. Okay. Oh, yeah.
and John Laurinaitis.
People power.
Vince asked them to bring Kurt and Taker to him so he can talk some sense into him before the match tonight. And then Vince asked Stacey to go back to the hotel as he thinks things might kick off and it's not safe for her. But not before there's a little reminder of what's to come. But Stacey is the one that goes in for a little kiss, despite the fact that she was all like, "No, don't kiss me, Vince, you creepy old bastard." Last week, she's happy to give him a peck, but Vince does the weird kiss that Vince McMahon does, like kind of like wide open mouth and fucking airbrush.
Love that for him.
Thankfully, we were spared from anything else. It lasted a second, and then Stacey fucking left.
Cool.
Wow. Jericho interview, bigs himself up for King of the Ring, and talks about reclaiming the Undisputed title.
Sounds good.
You can see my enthusiasm for SmackDown this week and my notes. Fuck me. We're back in Vince's office once again.
Oh my god.
And Finley and People Power found Taker and Kurt.
Daddy Bella.
So Vince is trying to get them to have a clean match tonight. They're not having any of it. Taker's threatening to pull Angle's wig off and shove it down Kurt's throat. And like Vince is kind of like, "Whoa, Taker, fucking calm down." He turns his back to Angle, so he's like trying to push Taker away. But then Kurt just fucking smacks into Vince, who then falls onto Taker. This thing is fucking hilarious. Like, so Kurt's like fucking pounding away. You've got Finley and John Laurinaitis trying to pull him off, and they do. So Kurt gets fucking scampered away. But then Vince is, I mean, you can see it on camera, so you can see what I'm doing. Like Vince is kind of like on like squirming on Taker, and Taker's like, "Get off me, get on!" Like, he's like, okay. And yeah, Taker's like, "Get off me," and then Vince is like, "Car, you son of a beep, you son of a beep." Fucking bleeps, man. Ruins it for everybody.
Loves it.
But then we go to the main event. Thank God. Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. Angle grabs a chair even before Taker's come out. Goes to use it when Taker gets towards the ring, but the ref takes it from him and rings the bell. Angle goes for an ankle lock early, and after Taker gets out, he continues to target the ankle. It's good wrestling stuff, that. Taker fights back, but Kurt again gets the upper hand, hitting a German suplex, and then he exposes the turnbuckle, and then the match continues. The action eventually spills outside of the ring, and Kurt gets lawn-darted into the post, and it looked fucking rough. I don't know whether it was the camera angle or what, but it looked bad. But no blood, so I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Taker gets him back in the ring, goes for a choke slam, but then Kurt count. I love a really good choke slam counter.
Oh, me too.
It's like he gets him up and then kind of fucking spins in the air,
Especially when
spins
it's like
him over,
like him.
Ankle lock. It's great stuff. Very, very smooth counter. But it's Kurt Angle, of course it is.
Yeah, it's Kurt Angle. He's the bomb. He's the best.
So he counters into an ankle lock, and this ankle lock is locked in for some time. But eventually Taker counters and goes for another chokeslam, but Triple H hops up on the apron. And Kurt uses that distraction to roll up Taker for the win.
Woo!
He has pinned the undisputed champion. Triple H then attacks Taker, and then they fall and brawl outside of the ring. And Hogan, good old Hogan, is back. He locks Angle in the ankle lock, and Kurt taps like a little bitch.
Lovely.
You hate to see it. However, Taker, after he's finished dealing with Triple H, crawls into the ring and big boots the fuck out of Hulk Hogan.
Good.
And then chokeslams as well. It's not just a big boot, he fucking slams him as well. It's great stuff. But then Triple H gets back in the ring, and pedigrees Taker to stand tall and end the shittest SmackDown I've had the displeasure of covering on Dits versus Josh.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Awful.
Doesn't sound great, not gonna lie to you. But hey, can't all be winners.
No. but I'm disappointed.
Well, I guess that'll do us this week. I had a great show. I liked my show this week.
Yeah, I need to get to the Paul Heyman era fucking now.
So vote red, so I can go into
No.
King of the Ring with a nice victory. We do have King of the Ring next week, so we'll be talking all about that.
Nice little review show.
I love when we get to these. It's like a nice welcomed break for a week.
Yes.
I like it. I like
watching.
it. Dits, you probably need to talk about how your show's changing slightly. Your announcement.
Well, it's Dits Day today.
It is.
Fuck
Dits Day.
Monday off. It's Dits Day. So I don't know. You might have listened to the Dow Pod, the Dits on Wrestling podcast already today, because that launches on a Monday as well. So you get double Dits today. So whichever one you're listening to, there's another one available. Go
There
check
is.
it out. We're not talking about wrestling this week. It's a get to know the host kind of deal. So there's about 5 minutes of wrestling chat, a good old moan to kick off the episode, and then we go into good stuff like Disney and Game of Thrones and Fast and
Disney.
Furious and all that kind of shit. It's actually a really fun episode, and it's a long episode because we didn't realize how long it was good. We're having such a good time that it went quite long. So if you don't, if you don't go the whole way, I don't mind. We had a good time. But that is available right now. No, it isn't, because this will drop first. Mine is available
It'll
later
be available at some
in the
point.
day.
At
At some point on a Monday.
Yeah. I
Yes.
usually drop it first because I'm in the future. So
Yes.
So Dits versus Josh
But
will
double
usually
Dits.
come out first. Yes, double Dits.
And on Dits on YouTube this week, I've got a GTA series.
I've seen that.
I'm doing like a new Dits Reacts thing. So starting today, if you hop onto my YouTube channel, Dits on YouTube, you'll be able to see Grand Theft Auto 3, me reacting to that, and then it'll be chronological order until we hit GTA 5 on Friday. So
Yeah.
nice little new series.
Cool. You got lots of stuff coming up.
Yeah, mixing things up a little bit.
That's good. Of course, you know where to find all of my stuff. Again, it's been a few days now, but thank you, everybody. I've had nothing but a completely 100% positive experience with everything. So that's good.
And so you should. And so
Well,
you
yes.
should.
But you still expect the worst. It's weird.
Yeah.
I've had no negative reaction. I've had more love than I've ever received, I think, ever in my life. And I don't think I feel like I can take on the world now, because I don't think I'm going to do anything as scary as that ever. So that's good. And I feel fine. Like everyone's like asking me how I am. I genuinely feel fine. I feel happy. So that's good. I don't feel uncomfortable about it. So that's nice. I'm still the same
Yes.
person as I was ever. Nothing's changed. I'm still going to be the same fucking moron I was before.
Exactly. And as I said, it's just a new normal.
Exactly.
So-
And come on, guys. We're in 2020, unfortunately. But we're in the 21st century. It's nothing, it's nothing weird about it. But thank you, everybody, for all the love and support. So, of course, I'm not going to ask you to do too much more because everyone's done so much for me. But if you want to listen to my shows, of course, you can find them right here on this feed, the Josh Robinson 00 Network. And catch me on Twitch as well. I'm trying to work out a little bit of a schedule on when I'm going to stream. But I'm going to start playing some, like, Shut Your Mouth. I was doing that yesterday, and I had a fucking ball with it. So, Shut Your Mouth, and Here Comes the Pain. Start doing some season modes from those old games, because I'm realizing how much fun they actually are. I've forgotten how much fun those games actually are, because they're just wild. So expect that on my Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. So of course, continue to rate this podcast 5 stars on iTunes. It does help. Like, share, subscribe, YouTube, all of that wonderful stuff. Dits, anything you want to say before we fuck off for the day?
No.
Awesome. That's
No.
my favorite time to listen to Dits is when he's not talking.
Wow, that's amazing. That.
I don't listen. I don't speak, loser.
Ah.
Vote red.
Aha.
Vote red. All right. See you, everybody.